Okay, Alex Money back with another round of Time for School, and following on from the last video, I'm going to talk you through a project that I've done. We'll explain that inverse relationship between size and land. One of the comments that we get, and I've seen on a lot of other influencers and people that put this information out as well, is, oh, well, that's really terrific, but it's all airy-fairy. Where are the real world examples? And that's really important. I think anytime you see content like this or you get advice like this, it's good to vet that information, because you don't know who that person is or what their skill set is, and if they're just pulling those numbers out of there. So I'm going to show you the proof in the pudding. This is a particular property that I bought a couple of years back. Now, I can't give you the exact address, but I can tell you in South Australia, it's in the Unley Council area, one of the most expensive council areas in the state. So this is premium land. This block was around about 2.5 kilometers from the CBD. It had some awesome frontages. So this that you can see here is a street frontage, and quite luckily on this side here, we had a street frontage as well. So already you've got that increased value of having dual street frontages. Another thing that you will see a lot in my videos that I chase in all of my investments is multiple titles. So you had 1, 2, 3 titles already existing when I bought the property. Now, speaking of buying the property, I paid $3 million to buy the property. It was 1,800 square meters of land across those 3 titles. So if you break that down, I paid about $1,670 per square meter for all of that land. As I said in the last video, if you push across into that larger land holding, that larger block, and you get into these sort of numbers, a $3 million investment for essentially land, that really narrows down the competition. It narrows down the pool of people that can afford it and want to take the risk. So that's why I got this benefit of $1,670 a square meter. I can tell you confidently, and I'll show you the proof in a minute, that land in this area routinely sells for the mid-2000s. So 2.4, 2.5, $2,600 per square meter. But again, I avoided that competition by pushing into a range that a lot of people can't afford. Now, when I bought this property, the first thing I did, we had this really odd shaped triangle block on the side. It really didn't add to the entire development as a whole. And what I wanted to do was reduce debt as quickly as possible. So what I did is I put this onto the market, expressions of interest, and very quickly, I was luckily able to achieve $650,000 for that property. So I sold that straight away and paid down my debt. So if you're looking at the numbers, I bought it for $3 million. I sold one 300 square meter, just 300 square meter block for $650,000. That brought my debt straight away to $2,350,000, so 2.35. Okay, so then with what was left, what I did was go to council and say, okay, we've got a property here that's got a massive dual frontage. I've got a title here, but what I also want to do is split this down and create 2 more titles. So 1, 2, 3 titles there, separately fronted, and because they were separately fronted and had their own accesses and crossovers, these were going to be, in South Australia we call Torrens title. So no community titles, no strata titles, no shared driveways or accesses. Really, really valuable. What I was able to do once I got that subdivision was sell each one of these for $800,000, excuse my horrible handwriting, but $850,000. So if you look at that $850,000, I've sold those 3 blocks. 850 times 3 is worth $2.55 million. So I've got a debt that I've taken from $3 million to $2.35 million. I've then sold 3 blocks of land and brought in $2.55 million. So there's 2 things I want you to understand about that. As soon as this is done, this is already a project that's brought in $200,000 of profit. That's not net profit because there's interest and costs, and we'll discuss that in the next video. But if you just look at raw numbers, you've got a project that already at this point has brought me in $200,000 of profit. On top of that, what I want to cement to you guys is the reality of this, the inverse relationship. If you look at these were each 300 square meter blocks again. All right, now the reason I did 300 square meter blocks is because that's the smallest block that this council would allow me to do on this particular site. 300 square meter blocks selling for $850,000, you are talking about $2,835 per square meter. That's what each square meter of land was selling for. So I've bought at $1,670 and I've sold at $2,835 per square meter. The kicker in all of this, I still have this one here. And this one here actually has a really nice house on it that's pulling in rental income, and on its own would be worth about $1.5 million. So selling these, I've become debt free, right? I've got about $200,000 worth of profit, but that profit's probably going to go towards interest and fees and everything else. But I've essentially, through this one transaction, got myself a $1.5 million property completely freehold in an Unley Council suburb. All right, that's something that in your lifetime would be very, very difficult to achieve without pulling a move like that. This is the sort of thing I'm talking about, the inverse relationship. If you can pull yourself out of that main pool of competition, I had an investment partner on this. No way I could have done that alone, but that in itself gets you into another realm of development and investment that's going to give you profitability like nothing else. Stay tuned because more Alex Money Time for School coming up. For now, Alex Money out.